Hey, Rich Lucas here. Welcome to the Marketing Hooligan Podcast, episode 2. This episode is called Cutting the Crap and Getting Down to What Actually Works in regards to marketing your business or your products. Okay, so in the last episode, we talked about time management and how people say they don't have time to market are actually talking a load of rubbish, because you do have time to market. It's about making the time to market. Well, in this one, it's actually inspired by a question on the Facebook page, social on the internet marketing and social media marketing for small business page. I asked, what do you find hardest? Do you find hardest knowing what to do, or deciding, or actually doing it? And Kelly come back with a great one, saying, I find it really difficult to work out what to do in regards to marketing. And it's true. I mean, there's so many different things out there in regards to marketing. I mean, you can do social media, you can do internet marketing, you can do print advertising, you can do networking, and really just think, well, there's so much things going on. You end up with a bit of analysis paralysis. You don't really know what to do because there's so many options out there. And I actually I signed up to these lists. I signed up to quite a few lists just to see what the next shiny object is in regards to marketing, because I think particularly if you're a sales professional, you tend to stick with your cold calling, going along to your networking events, maybe a bit on LinkedIn. If you're a hypnotherapist, massage therapist, personal trainer, I think you work very much on a word of mouth basis. And we don't really move away from our natural habitat. And I think this is really what this blog post is all about. I mean, I was a personal trainer. I didn't have time to do word of mouth marketing or referral marketing. I had to grow my business very quickly, so hence this podcast was born. So we're going to look at this now. We're going to look at what kind of marketing works. Now, the quick answer is this, okay? Every kind of marketing works for someone, okay? Every kind of marketing works for someone. Marketing is actually very simple. All marketing comes down to is having your product or your service, knowing who your client is, putting that product or service in front of the client in a language that you can communicate with them, and doing that time and time again. That's pretty much all we're doing. That's all we're trying to do here, okay? We'll follow those steps each and every time. It's actually very simple if you break it down. Okay, what a lot of people don't do though, and I find this with most professions, is they don't profile their customers, okay? Once you've actually taken your time to profile your customers correctly, everything becomes very, very simple, okay? What you need to do is kind of, you take the customers that you already have, or take the clients that you already have. If you don't have any clients, get a section of people or a demographic of people that you want to work with, okay? And you survey them, okay? You can either do a survey by handing out the pieces of paper, or you can do one for free on surveymonkey.com or woofoo.com. I use Google Forms. However you do it, the main thing is you need to get the responses and collate them and develop your customer profile, okay? So things that you need to know, okay, stuff like what gender is your customers, where do they work, how much do they earn, do they have children, do the children go to school, where do the children go to school, what do they do in their social times, what websites do they visit, what social media outlets do they visit, okay? And you get a real good profile of your customers' behaviors away from what you do with them. Once you've got these behaviors, you can then put your adverts, put your messages in the places where your customers frequent, okay? So if your customers are mental for Facebook and they're all on Facebook all the time, Facebook ads would be a good place to go. If your clients are all over LinkedIn, maybe create a group. If your customers read the local post, the newspaper, put an ad in the paper. But the fact of the matter is, if you don't do this beforehand, and if you don't work this in, you have no idea where your customer is, and anything you do is going to be guesswork, and any good results you're going to get is because of a fluke. Now, that's no way to run a business. That's no way to market a business. All right? The more we can control, the more we can work off, the more we know about, the better off we're going to be. So here's what I would suggest that you do, okay? Go away and design a survey asking your existing client base, or a segment of the clients that you want to be working with, what they do in their spare time. So the questions that you can have is, What's your name? What's your address? What's your gender? Where do you work? Do you have children? Do they go to school? Where do you go on holidays? What social networks do you use? What's the biggest problem you face in regards to whatever your service solves? Okay, what have you seek for in the past? What's worked? What hasn't? And how much on a scale of 1 to 10 do you want to resolve this issue? So, for example, for me, I was a personal trainer. I still am a personal trainer, as a matter of fact, and very much me designing my client profile was around that. Okay, what I come out with is my clients were ladies aged between 28 and 35, working in the city centre. They had professional jobs. They earned between 28 and 40,000 pounds a year. They tend not to have children. They weren't married. They had a live-in boyfriend. They holidayed once, maybe twice a year. And knowing these sorts of information, I knew where they worked. Okay, I knew they were ladies. I knew their age range. I know that they tried Weight Watchers, they tried Slimming World, they tried gym classes and personal trainers, and they were still disappointed with the results. Yeah, I knew that them losing weight was a scale of 9 to 10. They really, really wanted to do it. Okay, so I knew these sorts of things. So when I did my marketing, the first question I would put in my marketing piece was, have you tried Weight Watchers and Slimming World and are still disappointed with the results? Now I know, because I have done my profiling, that this is going to resonate with them. And they're going to think, yeah, I do. And they're going to carry on reading. Alright? And maybe then I'd offer them a free report. Okay, this is how to lose 7 pounds without counting calories and without spending hours on the treadmill every day. Okay, because I know they don't have time to mess around. And the only reason I know this is because I've done the freaking work in the first place. Okay? And this is what a lot of people don't do, and then they still complain about their marketing not fucking working, right? That's what you need to do. You need to go away and survey those customers. And then you need to build a client profile. And a really good way to build a client profile is to go onto Google Images and search for empathy map. Okay, so once you've you've got all the responses, so you know where your customers frequent, where they go online, where they go offline, what they read, blah blah blah. Once you know all that about your customers, you can get something called an empathy map, and this is free to download. Get hold of it, and you can actually work around what your clients think, what they feel, what they see, what they hear, what their pain points are, what their pleasure points are, and you can just write up everything. And you can do it with post-it notes. It works really well with post-it notes. You can put post-it notes all over the place, and you get a real image and a real picture of who your customer is. Now, once you know who your customer is, like I said, marketing becomes very easy, because you just market to that customer that you've got in front of you. Yeah? Once you've done that, we can then move on to the next stage. But until you've done your customer profiling, any marketing you will do will be a fluke at best and a waste of time at worst. Alright? So, bear that in mind. We're going to go away, profile your client. You need to know your client inside and out. I mean, in the next podcast, we're going to talk a little bit more about your service and how it fits that profile. So you need to have completed that profile before we do the next podcast. Okay, so if you like what you hear, please share on social media and wherever else you want to. If you want to do that, that would be great. If you're on LinkedIn, you can join us on Social Media Marketing Talk, new group just starting out, and also on Facebook, Internet Marketing and Social Media for Small Businesses. Okay, right, so I'm going to see you in the next podcast. Thank you very much for listening.